Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing the movie Top Gun Maverick. Just got back from watching it, so I'll give you my overall grade and impressions. And then spoiler alerts after that, I'll remind you again. But then we'll do in-depth plot synopsis and character development as best as I can remember it. And maybe one similar movie that really stuck out. But the overview says, after more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Maverick Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. Training a detachment of graduates for a special assignment, Maverick must confront the ghost of his past and his deepest fears, culminating in a mission that demands the ultimate sacrifice from those who choose to fly it. Loved it. Thought it was a great movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Pretty much what you expect, but I thought it was extremely well done. So I'm going to give it a solid A. I don't think I've given an A+ out, but this was on the edge between A and A+. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the cinematography, just the presentation, the jets were really cool. The development of the plot was fantastic. It moved along well. Thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. It was a 2-hour and 17 movie. So I highly recommend you go see it. And now, if you've not seen it and want to, shut off this video because here comes some spoiler alerts. So, and as stated, we have Tom Cruise as Maverick. And for what it's worth, I really only remember, the only thing I really remember from, I've seen the original one, but years and years and years ago when I was young. So I don't know, Goose Dies. So that's really the only thing I remember from the movie. But obviously Tom Cruise is playing Maverick. But we start off and he's testing, he's some test pilot for the Navy, and he's supposed to be ranking up. He's a captain. You don't know the hierarchy of the Navy or the military. He's supposed to be at least a second admiral by now or something. But they're trying to get to a plane to get to Mach. They have a schedule for getting to Mach 9, which, for what it's worth, as a physicist, I don't know what the unit that's supposed to be. But Mach 9, and they get there, and it's like, the colonel, vice admiral, he's like the later boss, but Rear Admiral Kane, who's played by Ed Harris. And again, why doesn't Google put their actual names? If they use names in the movies and it says Rear Admiral, like, come on, guys. But can anybody do anything? Absolutely not. So he gets it up and he's like, if you can't get this to, Maverick shows up to the test place. Ed Harris, Admiral Kane is not there yet. They're shutting us down. They wanted us to be at Mach 10 by now. And Tom Cruise, Maverick's like, they're not here yet. So they start firing up anyway, right as the Admiral's showing up. He gets the plane to Mach 10.2 or 3, and then G-forces out or whatever, and I think he ejects. I don't know if the plane gets destroyed, but the next thing you get is kind of him walking into a diner in his spacesuit, and people, all just normal country folks, are looking at him like, what's going on? And so he gets in trouble there, but he pushed the limits, and the reason he did that is because if he got to Mach 10, then it saves the jobs of these other people. But then Rear Admiral Kane's basically, there's going to be just automated, autonomous flight systems. We're not going to need pilots for much longer. Maverick says, well, not today. And so he gets sent over back to Top Gun, which is the high-ranking elite level for the Air Force, to train people for a special assignment. So basically there's some adversary has, nuclear weapons or just some underground weapon stash or something that's very bad, and they have to basically fly this very tight course very quickly under these SAMs, these automatic missile defense systems, as well as dodging the radar of other fighter pilots. And so they have to train for this course. Maverick is going to be the instructor. The vice admiral, who's the boss, again, he has a name in the thing, I think so, but I don't remember his name, and it's played by John Hamm. That dude looks familiar. But, so they have a class of 12, and he's gonna pick 6 people to do it, and the other ones are reserves, and whoever's the first pick is the team leader. And so these are all, I forget what they call them, card names, just nicknames. So you have Maverick, you have Iceman, who's retired, and he's something from the first Top Gun. But he's kind of why Maverick is still in the Navy. He's still allowed to push the rules, and Iceman kind of has his back. So again, I don't remember the connection from the first movie. Then you have Hangman. He's kind of kind of like a cocky dude, but he's backs it up. So He's kind of like the cocky, arrogant one in the group. You have Phoenix, played by Monica Barbaro. She can sit on my face, excuse me. She's Phoenix. Then you have Bradley Bradshaw, who's Goose's son. I forget Goose's real name. You have the Vice Admiral, you have Bob. He's like the backseater dude. He's the backseater for Phoenix. You have Penny Benjamin, who is a previous lover of Maverick, and she runs a bar, and they rekindle the flames at the bar. And you have Fanboy, you have Payback. I don't think they get picked for anything. I'm not seeing any other names on here. But there's 12 different people, and they all got their different names. And so they meet up at this bar, at Penny Benjamin's bar, and they're all like, Phoenix is like, everyone here is the best there is. Who's going to get to teach us? And then they introduce Maverick, and they start doing training exercises. Well, Maverick also, he put his cell phone on the bar, so he had to buy the bar rounds or something. And then he saw Bradley Bradshaw, Goose's son, like after they throw him out of the bar in a friendly manner, and so it's like a Navy military pal around bar. So they throw him out just because he can't pay his tab, but because he has to pay for everybody, but just like a friendly way. And then he sees Bradley Bradshaw. So then after that, they start doing their training drills. And he takes this big manual, he's like throws it in the trash. He's like, throw that away. We're just gonna think and feel. And so the first drill they do is basically just like Air Force tag, basically just without actually shooting each other, just doing aerial maneuvers, seeing who would kill each other first in actual combat. Nobody beats Maverick. Everybody has to do a lot of push-ups. The next training exercise they do is basically an obstacle course or a similar terrain of the actual flight pattern they're going to have to do. I think there's only 2 or 3, but basically there's going to be two darts, or I think darts, I forget what they end up calling them, but just 4 planes, an initial crew, and they have to drop a bomb on this ventilation shaft, and then a second crew has to come in and drop a second bomb into the ventilation shaft and destroy the underground weapon stash or whatever. And so they're doing that training drill. I think they have like 2 minutes and 30 seconds is their time. And they have to stay under the SAMs, and then they have to be able to, accelerate high really fast to scale a mountain. It's in like the target is in this like valley mountain range thing, and so they have to like go over the mountain, flip upside down, and then they go really high to escape. And once they try to escape, people are going to start shooting at them. And so they're doing the track, and nobody's getting close. Nobody's getting close to the time. And one or two of them like get through, but way too slow, and then like miss the bombs of like where the precision target has to hit. And so basically during that time, one of the, I forget which pilot, but he basically like blacks out from the G-forces, so he almost dies. He's doing the course, he goes up real high, and then basically just passes out from the acceleration. And so he's about to crash, and then he snaps back to it, and basically just barely gets away. And then Phoenix and Bob have to eject and basically go to the hospital for a brief moment. And also in the tag game, when Maverick was going against Bradley Bradshaw, what's his name? I think his name's Rooster. I think he's Rooster. But again, Google, sometimes they have the clan name, sometimes they have the actual name. But played by Miles Teller, thought he did a good job. But him and Maverick go back and forth, they like barrel roll to the ground. They're not supposed to get like below like 5,000 feet of elevation for training purposes, even though like the actual flight, they can't have like a maximum of like 100 feet on the actual flight. But Maverick gets screwed a little bit for that. And then so the timeline gets moved up a week, and the Vice Admiral, the boss guy, is basically like Maverick. You have to, you're out, you're kicked out. And so he's reminiscing with Penny, and he keeps driving, Maverick keeps driving Penny home on his motorcycle. The first couple times she doesn't let him in, because again, they're past lovers, but then she finally lets him in to clap some cheeks, because Amelia Benjamin, her daughter, who's probably, 10, is going to stay at her friend's house for the sleepover. And then, so he's clapping some cheeks, and again, it's PG-13, so it's not like a sex scene. But then the daughter ends up coming home, and Maverick jumps out the window of the second floor to avoid being seen, and he lands down, and then who's sitting there right in the kitchen staring at him? Amelia. So, again, like I said, I typically don't like humorous quips in serious movies, but I audibly laughed at that. I thought that was actually fucking hilarious. So, that little, basically the only comedic input in the whole movie so far, and I thought it was very well done. So, they're back, he gets kicked out. Basically, the Admiral boss says, you're out of the training, I'll do the rest myself. And he's like, the Admiral's like, you showed them, that they can't do it because that it's, the restrictions you put on it are too hard. And he's like, well, this is what's going to actually happen. And so the Vice Admiral's up there giving the pep talk about how he's going to be the new leader or teacher, and Maverick just pops up on the radar flying the plane, and he does the course in like 2 minutes and 15 seconds as opposed to 2 minutes and 30 seconds to prove that it can be done. And so it's a very cool scene. Everyone's rooting for him, go, go, go. And so what ends up happening is the Vice Admiral makes Maverick the team leader. So he's going to pick 5 people to fly with him to execute the actual mission. He picks Phoenix and Bob as a group. I'm not exactly sure the flying patterns, and I forget the other 2, but he picks Rooster's in there as well. Obviously, we had to have the reunion there. The Bradley Bradshaw, Goose's son, and then 2 of the other people. And so Maverick's the lead guy, and they fire these missiles to strike the airstrip right when they're entering the airspace, so they can't have a bunch of planes fly after them. They go in there, they get through, they drop the bomb. The first one goes off fine. The second one, the laser's not aligning, but so Rooster, Bradley Bradshaw drops it, just like no scope, and it hits the target, and target detonated. So now they have to escape. So Maverick gets away, they get hit, they get some attacks from the SAMs, the automatic weapons, and 2 other, I think what they're called, but just 2 other enemy flight crews. And so they have a lot of defense systems, which I thought was cool to see, even just like fakers in cinema, but like a missile coming at you and it'll drop flares to hit the missile and explode it behind you. So cool, very cool action scenes. And so basically everyone gets away except for Rooster, and Maverick doubles back to make sure Bradley Bradshaw gets away, and Maverick gets hit and goes down. They don't see a parachute, but there's not real sure, and the rest are ordered to come back. And so basically the next scene you get, I think, is Maverick waking up. He's not dead, he's behind enemy lines. And a big chopper gunner's trying to murk him. And then out of nowhere, Bradley Bradshaw Rooster comes back and blows up the helicopter. And so basically then I think Miles also gets shot down as well, so now they're both on foot and they're like scoping out the base that the missiles just blew up. And so they see an F-14, they're flying F-18s, and I know nothing about aircraft, just going off the movie, but F-14s are older models, so they're like, how are we going to get out of here? And so they're going to get the plane that's on the base of the enemy and just fly it off. So they get that pretty successfully. Again, everyone's scattering and doing this and doing that, so no one suspects anything. They fly away and get away, and then 2 of the enemy aircrafts, as they're flying away, meet up with them. And I guess they're 5th generation, this is bigger than F-18s. They had to fly F-18s to stay below the radar and whatnot. And so these 2 other 5th generated fighters come through, and they have another big gun battle. Basically they kill both of the 2, and then another one comes, and they get some sentimental quotes like, again, Rooster, Bradley Bradshaw's in the back, Maverick's in the front, and some reminiscent scenes about Goose in the back, or comments, not scenes. And he's like, it's not about the plane, it's about the pilot. And so they kill the first 2 planes, and then the 3rd one comes up, and they're just about to die, and then bam, out of nowhere comes Hangman. Kind of like the arrogant, cocky dude, but it wasn't picked for the crew. And he comes out, and when Maverick initially got hit, he, on his own accord, when he got geared up for his plane, was like, permission to launch to go try to help, and he was denied by the Vice Admiral. So it's not exactly sure if he got permission or just did it anyway, but regardless, he blows up the the third aircraft following Maverick and Rooster. And so they get back, they land, huge celebrations, everybody goes crazy, and then a couple more reminiscent scenes, again, about posting the picture of Maverick and Bradley Bradshaw next to the picture of Maverick and Goose. So again, action movie, but I thought it was extremely well done, so I gave it an A. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Just overall, again, the plot went well. The character development, again, Tom Cruise wasn't the insecure one. No insecurity. Good job. Like the writing there. So again, just a good classic action flick that I thought was extremely well done. And one similar movie that did pop to mind throughout the entire time was, I forget what it's called, but it was Ashton Kutcher as like a Navy SEAL movie. Let's see if I can find it. The Guardian from 2006 with Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. Just about like kind of like a similar deal, but for the Coast Guard as opposed to the Navy. But similar type of development of story and character. So The Guardian, I think, is a very, and that would also probably get an A. At least again on the initial watches. If I rewatch them, it's not. I've already seen the movie, but that would also be a B+ to an A movie for sure. So The Guardian, if you're looking for a similar movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed Top Gun Maverick. So thank you for watching my movie review. See you next time.